a big piece of this report does not exonerate the president, a sitting president, on an extremely serious charge of obstruction of justice.
We need to see the full report to really understand the evidence that was collected, where we stand with the obstruction charge.
Well, Democrats clinging to hope on obstruction since Robert Mueller's investigation didn't pan out the way many of them had predicted. We're pretty confident of.
Yeah, but is it possible for President Trump to obstruct justice on a crime that it appears he did not commit, according to Bob Mueller? Here to discuss that is attorney Elliot Feely. Thanks for coming on this morning. That's a big question. I mean, if you didn't do something, how do you obstruct the investigation into it?
Theoretically, it is possible to be found guilty of obstruction even if there is no underlying crime. Yep. If, for example, there's an investigation where you're afraid there might be extreme embarrassment and you asked witnesses to lie, you pay witnesses to lie, you fabricate evidence, you hide evidence, theoretically, it is possible. It has happened. That being said, it's extremely difficult for a jury or a prosecutor to infer a corrupt intent when there isn't something you're trying to hide or obstruct, and the president would have that defense. He would say, look, there was no collusion, so I had nothing to hide. So that would certainly make it very challenging to find obstruction.
You know, as you've heard over the course of the last 24, 36 hours, a lot of the Democrats hanging on to the does not exonerate him when you're talking about obstruction. What does that language say to you?
I mean, if the best somebody can muster is, after 22 months, here's a report that didn't exonerate you, that's not exactly pointing the finger. They didn't exonerate him of the Lincoln assassination either. So got to come up with more than that to point the finger and certainly to make a case for impeachment.
Do you think it's fair? Sorry, real quick to follow up. Do you think it's fair that a lot of people still do want to see the full report, though?
I think people have the right to see the full report. I think it's in the president's interest. He's expressed a willingness to have the report out in the open.
I mean, like you said, it's 22 months they've investigated this thing. They find, no obstruct. They find no collusion. They say that they can't, that they can't see. My question is, as I get tongue-tied here, if you didn't obstruct, if you didn't collude, I can't understand how you could come to any other. You know what I mean? Like,
can you read his mind, please?
Can you read my mind? Because I just totally lost. I totally froze and lost my train of thought as I was going into that question.
The president said at the outset, I didn't collude. Yeah. He said no one I'm aware of colluded. There was no conspiracy.
Right.
And 22 months, 500 witnesses, 2,800 subpoenas prove that's correct.
I just found my question again. If it would have said that he colluded, would they have had obstruction, do you think?
No, it's a completely separate question. But, yes, they'd have a stronger case of an incentive to obstruct if there were underlying collusion.
Because Mueller throwing this over to Bill Barr, I wonder if Mueller would have found the collusion, would he have said, I also got obstruction?
He would have had a stronger case. He would have had a basis to say this defendant, this potential defendant, had a motivation to obstruct if there were underlying collusion.
Let's talk about another topic here. And as we have talked about over the course of the months, lawyer Michael Avenatti in a little bit of hot water again. And when I say a little bit, I mean a lot. Arrested and charged with wire and bank fraud for trying to extort Nike for $25 million, up to $25 million.
Right.
What do you make of that? How much time is he looking at potentially?
Michael Avenatti has serious problems in more ways than one, other than the obvious problems that Michael Avenatti clearly has. Two separate jurisdictions. One, the Southern District of New York, widely regarded as the most respected prosecutor's office in the entire federal system. Separate charges in California. A mountain of evidence behind each case in New York: audio recordings, video recordings, contemporaneous tweets. I don't know how he can contest the underlying facts in the New York case. Then he's got a separate charge in California based on a mountain of financial records. So you're looking at two separate charges. It's tough to beat the feds once, to beat the feds twice. So I don't see how he beats it. A plea offer, when you're facing so many charges, is almost certain to carry significant jail time. So if he wants to avoid jail time, the only way to do it is to fight and win in both jurisdictions. That's a tall order for anyone.
Tough to do. And I mean, like you said, when you read the full story, it just seems like it's open and shut. Let's listen to his defense here for a second. He put out a tweet. I want to thank all of my supporters for your kind words and support today. It means a lot to me. I'm anxious for people to really see what happened. We never attempted to extort Nike, and when the evidence is disclosed, the public will learn the truth about Nike's crime and cover-up. So that's what you're saying. He's going to say that this wasn't, I wasn't trying to shake him down. I'm trying to get.
He's going to say this was normal litigation demand letter. There's a line between a legitimate demand letter and extortion. Most of us lawyers know it. I think he knew it, too.
Yeah, he is an attorney. All right. Elliot,
thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.